next one is by one of our favorite boys. It is Fat Electrician talking about the XF-84H Thunderscreech.
Bang, 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 bang.
I have not heard of this particular aircraft, so I don't really know. I don't recognize the name of it. Maybe I'll recognize it on sight, but I don't recognize the name of it. God knows this man is a poet with his words, so let us hear it.
Today we're talking about the loudest aircraft of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, the XF-84H Thunderscreech.
Okay, this vaguely looks familiar to me. Vaguely. Granted, a lot of planes that were built back to when this was built probably looked very similar, so I could be mistaken it for something else, but it vaguely does seem familiar to me. Nightingale? Another trainer jet turned fighter? Another one? These are all... If it's anything like the last one, this is gonna be good.
Real quick, before we get too far into this video is brought to you by my favorite sporting goods store, Shields. They have a bunch of amazing retail locations all across the US, but if you don't live near any of those, they have an even better online store that I'm going to have linked down below, where they have literally anything that has anything to do with going outside, hunting gear, fishing gear, camping gear. They have it all, and I would highly recommend you go check out their site. Again, that is linked down below. Let's get back to the video. Now, this is probably one of the most hated aircrafts of all time, both by the pilots and the people that worked on it. It was unaffectionately given the nickname of, and I quote, the mighty ear banger, which is just, we need to move on. Alright, here's the deal. Once upon a...
Oh my. Actually, no. It's more like...
FBI, open up!
a time in the 1950s, the United States Navy decided
Hi,
that they wanted a
robot!
new type of carrier fighter that would be able to take off from an aircraft carrier without using the catapult. You know, that thing that yeets the planes off the flight deck. Apparently, reloading the catapult was taking too long, and the Navy wanted to be able to get more planes in the air quicker to deliver on healthcare faster. Not a terrible goal. The only problem was jet technology at this point in time simply would not allow a jet to do this, which meant that this new fighter was going to have to be a prop-driven plane like the Sky Raider. But the only problem with that is that the Navy demanded that this new fighter had the same ability as a jet. Okay, if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, I'm trying to tell you that the Navy is about to try to make a supersonic prop-driven plane. I'm going to say that again, but slower. The United States Navy is going to try to get a plane with a propeller to try to break the sound barrier. Okay.
Say what now? I'm sorry, what? They're gonna try to get a prop job to break the sound barrier. Oh fuck, they're gonna have a prop job to get it on the ear, and then they're gonna fire off a jet engine out its ass, aren't they? That's exactly what they're gonna do, aren't they? They're gonna have a takeoff with a prop, and then they're gonna and then a jet engine's gonna fire up once it gets airborne, aren't they? Oh fuck. Okay, I've got a sound clip just for this prepped and ready when it happens.
Okay, that's like a fucking Amish guy in a boogie breaking a land speed record. They're not supposed to do that. But they're gonna try it anyways because America. So they take an F-80.
Yep, it's time.
For Thunderstreak, they rip the jet engine out of the middle and then cram an enormous Allison T-40 engine inside of it and slap a propeller on the front. Okay, here's the deal with this engine. It is 5,850 horsepower and it doesn't have a throttle. It just runs at 100% non-stop all the time. So the only way they were actually able to control the speed of the airplane was to change the pitch of the blades on the propeller, which you can kind of see here. There's those circles that changes the angle, makes the plane go faster or slower without having to change the speed of the engine. The only problem with that is when the blades were put to max pitch to move the most air to go the fastest, it generated so much torque that while the propeller was going one way, the engine wanted to spin the entire plane the other way.
Oh my god, that's like something out of a Looney Tunes cartoon, picturing that. That's like something that I would think of in a Looney Tunes cartoon. Oh God, I can't wait to hear this.
Basically forcing the plane to do a non-stop barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll. Do a barrel roll.
And here's the thing, that wasn't even really the problem. The problem was the noise. Okay, bear with me while I try to explain this. I'm not a science teacher, but when you look at a propeller and you see the blades, the tips of the blades are traveling faster than the base of the blades because as it rotates, it has to cover a greater amount of distance in the same amount of time. Does that make sense to everybody? Good,
Sure.
great, okay. Here's what was happening.
Oh, Moros, you got ants? Okay, I will wait. I will wait. Somebody tell Moros and anybody else in chat that I will wait until the ads are complete before continuing. Please let this be known in chat. I will wait. In the meantime, I will yap. Because that's what I do. I yap. I yap, 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 yap. But I thought for sure, 100%, that there was a jet engine here that was going to be blowing out its ass end once the propeller got it airborne. I thought for sure.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
Professional
Commoner!
gifted a
Thank
tier
you!
1 subscription to Moro013.
Thank you, Commoner. Someone in chat tell Moros to do a quick refresh. They have a subscription now. So, someone in chat tell Moros to refresh. And, Albert? I'm very curious. I'm very curious how this is going to work out. Because I have a suspicion it ain't gonna work like they think it's gonna work. Yeah, they're going to basically do the American thing and turn it into a fucking missile. Let's find out. Moros, you're back. Let's find out.
That engine is turning this propeller at over 900 miles an hour, and because the tips are traveling faster than the base of the blades, the last 12 inches of the tip of each blade, so you got 3 blades, 3 tips, are all
Just the tip, chat. Just the tip. And Clarence Dragon. Thank you for the follow. Well, Corey, you can send it TTS. It's 2,000 channel points. I've got to come up with some new channel point rewards this weekend. I swear to God. I definitely need to come up with some more channel point rewards.
all breaking the sound barrier, but the bases of those blades were not breaking the sound barrier. So each blade would create a sonic boom, back out, and then create another sonic boom almost immediately. And this was generating over 900 sonic booms per second, which basically sounded like one constant sonic boom to everybody involved. To give you an idea of how loud this was, it's believed that this created over 200 decibels of noise. The only thing known to mankind louder than that is the detonation of a major nuclear warhead or a volcano. Okay, this thing was so loud that the shock waves sent one of the engineers into a seizure. It knocked one of the mechanics unconscious and gave everyone anywhere near it nausea, headaches, and vomiting. It was so loud.
This is a weapon of mass discomfort. Holy crap, just do a low flyby over the enemy and you're gonna knock him out from the shockwave of these sonic booms alone.
Bang, 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 bang.
Holy shit! Granted, yeah, I mean, this is an old new kind of warfare you could play with. Granted, you're fucking up as many of your own people as you are the enemy, but hey.
Loud that people in the next town over 45 miles away were complaining at how loud this thing was. And here's the part where I'm gonna upset you. I don't have any audio of it up close because it would literally destroy any microphone that got near it. The best...
Thank God. I would rather not lose my eardrums today. No, I'd heard this wouldn't even be psychological warfare. This would be physical warfare because you'd be knocking people the fuck out with the pressure waves and blowing out their eardrums and causing them to get violently ill. This would be psychological. This would just be warfare.
I can give you is this, which is a recording of it from the ground as this thing is flying overhead at like 30,000 feet.
Okay, chat, You may want to turn your speakers down a little bit.
feet. This plane is so fucking loud, it's almost stealthy. I mean, are you gonna hear it coming from 50 miles away? Sure, for a second, then you're never gonna fucking hear anything ever again. I mean, you can't hear the Americans coming if you can't hear. That's just science. So clearly, this aircraft is extremely dangerous to anybody that's even remotely near it, especially the pilot, who's literally sitting behind 900 sonic booms per second that are trying to make him vomit, lose consciousness, and shit his pants all at the same time. And if that wasn't enough,
They found the brown noise, chat. They discovered the brown note. Oh,
when he finally does get that plane into the air, it's gonna try to torque him into a barrel roll the entire time. So obviously, we're only gonna test fly it like 12 times because, you know, safety third. Get ready. So they find 2 test pilots to fly this monstrosity. The first test pilot takes it up in the air, brings it back down, lands it. It's a successful test flight, I guess. He gets out of the cockpit, walks up to the engineer of the entire project, and says, and I quote, "You're not big enough and there's not enough of you to get me back in that plane." Okay, and that's coming from a test pilot. That dude's already fucking nuts. Bear in mind, the US Air Force approached him and was like, hey, would you like to drive a propeller-driven plane past the sound barrier? And he
yeah, you're dog. Absolutely right. You know you done fucked up when the test pilots are going, there's not a snowball's chance in hell you're getting me back in that plane. You know you done fucked up then.
He said yes. And now you have this guy backing out, so clearly this plane is fucking ridiculous. Cue this man, Hank Beard. He is the second test pilot that did the other 11.
And you can't see this chat because you are in the way? Given his handwriting, I have to wonder if he wrote this before or after he flew this plane because this chicken scratch is all over the place.
11 test flights, and of the 11 test flights, he had to crash land it 10 fucking times. This dude is literally just given the Grim Reaper blue balls as an occupation. Okay, we don't know this for sure, but legend has it the only thing that kept that plane from barrel rolling non-stop was the sheer weight of this man's nutsack. And when he was asked what he thought about the subject after the test flights, he replied with, and I quote, "What?" So after 12 test flights, they decided
That is about the answer I would fully expect, given this particular aircraft.
to cancel the entire project, not because it's too dangerous, not because it required 10 crash landings, but because the perpetual sonic booms are literally rattling the airplane apart, as well as completely destroying all the sensitive electronics inside the air control tower. In conclusion, at the end of all the testing, there was a verified speed of 520 miles an hour, making the Thunderscreech one of the fastest prop planes of all time. However, there was an unverified speed of 623 miles an hour, which would make it the fastest prop plane ever, and definitely the loudest. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out.
Very interesting.